this is Mrs. Patterson's homework help. This is Chapter 4, Lesson 7. Okay, we're going to be doing area models again, but the big focus we're talking about is the distributive property. And they want to show you that by doing this area model, but it gets a little complicated and there's a lot going on here. So I kind of want to break it down a little bit differently, show you the first problem here of what that means. Okay, so let's go up to the example first. We have 8 here times 16 here. 16 being 10 this way and 6 this way, totaling 16. This is a 10, that's why they've got this in a different thing, because we know 8 times 10 is 80. And then they have a separate section for 8 times 6, which we know is 48. Then we would add those two together and determine then that that's 128, and that's the same as 16 times 8. Okay? But that's drawing a big old hanging model, and it can take a lot of time to do that. And I want to show another way to do it. Here on number 1, we have 28 times 4. That's the same thing as saying 4 times 8, and meaning we're going to add 4 times 20, okay? Because 4 times 8 and 4 times, this isn't a 2, that's a 20. So we break it down and multiply these two, then we add them together, okay? 4 times 8, 32. Magic is 0 here, folks. 4 times 2 is 8. Put the 0 back in, and we have 80. So it's 32 plus 80, 112. That's using the distributive property. We're doing 4 times 8 and 4 times 20. That's the distributive property, okay? They're showing it in a model here so you can kind of see it laid out, and you can actually sit there and count the squares. If this makes you feel better and you want to use the model method, you're welcome to do that. Okay, let's look at the back of the page. And we have several more where they want you to use the distributive property. 2 essay questions, and we're going to go over the vocabulary in a second too. And it wants to know what's the answer here for what this model represents. Okay, so for 12 and 13, we have to pick from distributive property or a decompose to fill in the answers here. To blank a number means to break it into parts. That's to decompose it. Remember, we talked about that before. To decompose is to break apart. The distributive property, and I'm going to, because I have a big fat marker, I'm going to just write DP, states that you can multiply add-ins of a number, then add the products. And that's really a complicated way of saying, hey, if we have, let me do this one on a piece of paper here, 75 times 6, okay? The add-ins basically means 70 plus 5 will get you to 75. You add these two things and you get to 75. But if we multiply that by 6, each part by 6, we will get the same answer as 75 times 6. So if we have 6 times 70, that gets us 420, because that's the magic of 0, right? And then we have 6 times 5, which is 30. We add those two together, and we have 450. So 75 times 6 is 450. And if you want to use the old-fashioned way, 75 times 6, we can see that that still comes out. 6 times 5 is 30. 42 with 3 more is 45. So either way, you get the same answer. Okay, our bonus today, I want you to, using that distributive property and decomposing, 45, do 45 times 6.